Hi, thank you for joining me here. This is Steven. Welcome to my channel today. Today, I want to talk to everyone about my 180-gallon reef-ready reef tank. I have had this tank set up in my house for about 2 years now, and the tank is in relatively stable condition. Right now, the tank has over 20 fish. Most of them are semi-aggressive to a little bit on the aggressive side. And I also pride myself for this tank being a quote-unquote reef tank, having soft coral and a large number of inverts residing within this tank. Right now in the picture, you can probably see that most of the corals are either soft or leather coral. There is, however, an attempt to introduce some SPS. As you see, there is a Montipora spongotes. Unfortunately, that coral is being all chewed up by my humu humu triggerfish. I just put in a piece of food here. It is the Vitalis marine grazer, just to attract some fish to here to come up and eat so that you can see them better. This food is currently not available to be purchased in the US. I actually have to find it on eBay somewhere in Germany and have them shipped over here. It is a package deal where I got multiple cans, and with shipping and everything comes up to about $70. I think it's totally worth the money because all my fish love it. It's got a very balanced nutrition, keep them busy for a long time, as you will see in this video. By the way, the video is speed up a little bit, so that you don't think my fish are super hyper or they're breathing weird. It's because originally the video is actually more than half an hour long, and I don't want to bore everyone, so I actually speed up the video a little bit to make it more fun, entertaining, and also concise. The Harlequin tusk is usually the boss in this tank. I can basically feed them anything. Like during the summertime, I actually catch bugs around the house or in the yard, and I know some people probably frown on it, but I actually feed them just about everything under the sun, and it gobbles it up. It is very aggressive. It actually bit my finger a few times, but it is everything but vegetarian. So seeing that most of this marine grazer is vegetable matter, it's actually ignoring it for the most part. By the way, I do believe this used to be a British company that was under a different name. It was then sold to Vitalis. If anyone can remember what the name used to be, not important anymore, obviously, but feel free to comment for nostalgia. I do like the food, and I think I will probably get it again in future. I actually written to the company's marketing department to see if there's any interest in getting kind of an import license to get this food in the US, because I know there are several other food in the market that are similar to this, but I don't think any of them comes close to the effect that I see this food is. On top of the screen right now, you actually see a little device. That's where I put my phone in for an upside down tank view. You will see that clip in about a couple of minutes. I just want to give everyone a perspective of the tank's depth and also how thick all my fish are. They are truly pigs. They not only eat like a pig, but they are thick like a pig. As you can see, when the humu humu kind of turns sideways, upside down, you can see how thick that fish is. Right now, I want to say I keep my tank around temperature of 74 Fahrenheit. The salinity is stable at 1.025, and I honestly don't do the water change very often. It's pretty stable. I'm pointing out right here that some of you may be wondering what that is. It's actually a photosynthetic sponge that I have planted over there. Interestingly, I have two large angels in this tank, Blueface and a Emperor, and neither of them touch that. I also have two pygmy angels. You can see that darting in and out on the left hand side, there is a lemon peel, and there is also a flame angel. Some people may frown against having multiple pygmy angels, but they actually been relatively peaceful to each other, and they hang out together actually. So here's the upside down view that I've promised earlier. You see the Cuban hogfish coming in and out. I actually got that fish maybe only 2 inches large. It was feisty though. It was a tiny fish, but it did not put up against anything. You can also see the Japanese swallowtail angel here. She is not shy at all. She actually was only added to this tank last week, along with a Desjardins tank. They were introduced at the same time. They were actually rehoused from a different tank in my home. So just so you know that if anyone questioned the quarantine process, I definitely fully quarantine my fish. I've learned my lesson. Right, yeah, I just want to put the caption to see how thick that humu humu is. But right now I have several systems set up, and I have a 75-gallon tank that is set up as my quarantine tank, but I do not have the water fill up to the brim. I only have about 30 gallons of water going in that 75-gallon tank as my quarantine process. And back to the topic of the angel. So the angel's only been here for a week, but it's been eating well. As you can see, it's been pretty audacious, going in and out, eating and sharing the food with all the others. But the Desjardins tang, maybe in 5 minutes you will see it appear once and once only for this entire video. It is very shy. I think primarily because there is an established purple tang. Now, I actually did kind of ponder on the idea of adding the Desjardins tang because of the established purple tang, and I know zebrasomas don't play well with another zebrasoma, especially if one is established. But you know what? I do have plenty of fish. I have a nasal tang who kind of played the role of a peacemaker in this tank, so I thought I'd take my chances. Plus, the Desjardins, even though you can't see its full body, but it's actually pretty fat, chunky, and very healthy. So I have no doubt that in time it will actually overgrown the purple tang and become the king. I'm pointing out here in the bottom there is a tiger tail cucumber. I've had that cucumber for maybe 4 or 5 years by now. My wife is in love with it just because of how thick and how juicy it looks. It just kind of crawls around, doesn't do any business with anybody. It's very peaceful. And like I said earlier, I have plenty of inverts in this tank. You may not see it right now, but in the evening, after the light goes out, an army of hermit crabs crawls out from all their hidings. And I have a bunch of astrea snails just kind of clinging to the side walls. I have a few urchins here as my cleanup crew, and there's also a pair of fire shrimp, cleaner fire shrimp, hiding behind the rockwork. I know that some people are really questioning how do I keep all these inverts with large angel and also with the triggerfish, and I think the trick really is to keep everybody well fed. I feed them twice, floating food twice a day, and then in between I put in either the grazer or I have veggie clips. Right now you can see that the Emperor Angel will come in, and Emperor Angel is actually quite shy. I introduced the Emperor Angel as a juvenile fish. It was actually maybe no more than 3 inches, probably the size of that Swallowtail Angel right now, even smaller. And obviously, the coloration is different. It took the Emperor Angel 2 years to fully transition to today's adult color. And today, the Emperor Angel actually rivals the size of a Blueface. The Blueface Angel, however, I did introduce it as an adult. It was already 5 inches long by the time Emperor Angel arrived. And I actually planned this out very well because I know in nature or inherently the Emperor Angel is a little bit more aggressive than the Blueface. So I thought by introducing the Emperor Angel at a younger, smaller stage while the Blue Angel is larger, it's kind of a balancing act. The Blue Angel actually ignored the Emperor Angel while it was small because it poses no threat to it at all. And the Blue Angel actually, I'm really locked out. The Blue Angel is one of the shyest fish in this tank. It actually seeks no trouble from anybody. And so I have a lot of luck with my angels and tanks all together. I know angels and tanks together, they can all be jerks to many people's opinion. And shortly, keep your eyes darted to the left lower corner, and there is that the Shardini. If you want to see it again, feel free to rewind. But that's the one and only appearance that he has. And also the Blue Angel, as I said, is a super shy fish. He came and he's gone. So almost all the fish I have in here, with the exception of a couple of them, the Blueface for one, and also the Humu, I acquired both of them, actually more like rescued both of them as an adult from other people's tanks. But everyone, including this pair of clownfish, I raised them from their juvenile state. So the purple tang, was a couple of inches. The Stradini tang that I mentioned earlier was actually the size of a quarter that I raised in, and it actually graduated 2 different smaller tanks before I put it in this tank. The Melanurus wrasse there on the upper side, on the upper left corner, you can see darting in and out, was actually less than 2 inches, is entirely green when I first got it. And the bird wrasse here, you can see it is transitioning from female to male. It is going to eventually turn completely green once it grows to male. So a lot of the fish in nature are actually very interesting that they will be born one gender, but they grow up to be a different gender. So bird wrasse, for instance, 100% of all bird wrasse are born as females, and then once they grow, a dominant, largest female will then transition into male. The opposite is the clownfish. So all clownfish are born genderless, and they will then, as they grow, the largest one will turn female, and then all the others will become male. So they have kind of like a reverse harem, if you will. They will have a community of one female with multiple males. So, that movie Finding Nemo, in reality, what would have happened is that when Nemo's mom died, Nemo's dad would actually turn into a female. So, well, I mean, it's a movie for kids, but scientifically, I'm just trying to give everyone a perspective of what could happen here. And again, I'm going back to the topside down view here. So a little bit more story about some of this fish. The Humu Humu Nuku Nuku Apua'a, which is a triggerfish from Hawaii, I fell in love with it ever since my first snorkeling trip in Hawaii. And I just have to have it. But then, it's really not a good fit for most of reef tank. So even though I have it, I have a quote unquote reef tank just because I have success. I can't really guarantee that everyone else can replicate the same process or the same experience. I would caution that it is an aggressive fish. It actually bites me a few times when I feed it. I don't think it's intentional. It's just super excited. But it is very personable. I love him, and I believe he or she, if they have feelings, I'm sure they're in love with us too. Oh yeah, that nasal tang is pretty thick too. That nasal tang has actually gained about 3 or 4 inches ever since I got it, and definitely did not have the streamer when I first got it. So the tank, right in the middle, it looks shallow. It's more because of the water flow. I used to have a couple inches sand coverage here in the middle, but I have the pumps on both ends pushing water towards the middle where they meet, so the water all just kind of dive down and then wash the sand to the sides. If I ever shoot like a full tank video again, I will probably try to show you how thick the sand bed is on both sides of the tank versus the middle here. So the Blueface Angel is and whom are both rescued. They're both kind of just some. I think the previous owners surrendered them to the local fish store here because they've outgrown their tank, which is the responsible thing to do. I mean, I don't think it's the most responsible thing to do to obtain this fish when you have a small tank to begin with. But I know most people have it in their mind that they will upgrade once the fish grow. Unfortunately, that didn't happen to their former owner, so they were just kind of sitting in the store for months, and I mean months. And most of the people either understand that they are a little bit heavy on the aggressive side, or they're just not a good fit for the reef tank, so they're being avoided for a very long time. The Blueface Angel is also one of my favorite fish. I believe it is one of the most beautiful fish out there with the bright blue face and the yellow markings throughout the body. So I just have to have both of them. And, they're both really happy. They're doing very well in this tank. I have recently also acquired a few other fish. They're currently in quarantine, but probably in the next video, they're almost out of quarantine though. I think next week I will be ready to start redistribute them. I won't give out any spoilers. You'll find out what they are, but hopefully soon I'll get to showcase them. And I think coming up, I'll just shut up and let you guys enjoy this little time lapse of the fish interacting in the fish tank.